Sometimes we get these videos and they really make you kind of stop and think.
Yeah.
This one on chickens.
Ah, absolutely.
Got me looking at my breakfast plate a little differently this morning, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's amazing how something we think of as so commonplace.
Right.
So every day can have this really rich, deep history.
Yeah.
And it's not what we expect at all.
Not at all. And it starts right out of the gate with this bombshell. We all, as kids, we grow up with these images of the T-Rex, right?
Oh, yeah.
This massive, dinosaur king.
Yeah.
Turns out they might have had feathers, and their closest living relative is the chicken.
I know. It's incredible.
Who knew?
It really is. It really challenges our whole view of these prehistoric giants when you think about it. And the evidence is really starting to stack up. We've got these fossil discoveries they found in China and Mongolia, these feathered dinosaurs like the enantiorniths, and these really start to change how we thought about dinosaurs.
Right.
Then you've got this geneticist Asala back in 2007, and this was huge. He was able to analyze proteins from T-Rex fossils.
Wow.
And the results were remarkable. They showed the closest living relative of the T-Rex is the chicken.
I love it. I'm picturing this big, scaly T-Rex in my mind, and now it's got this feathery tail.
Right. It's kind of funny to think about.
It is.
But it just goes to show, evolution is stranger than we think.
Yeah, we think we got it all figured out, and then something like this comes along.
Exactly. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
The video talks about all these ancient bugs in their genes, these quirks of chicken biology.
Yeah.
And they're not really bugs at all. They're adaptations from their dinosaur days.
It's like they're these little time travelers.
Yeah, exactly.
With these little pieces of history encoded in their DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And the video talks about the cloaca.
Yeah.
Uses this analogy of a teapot.
Yeah, the teapot. I mean, I don't know who came up with that one, but it does make you kind of think about it in a different way.
Right, it makes the point.
It does.
So the cloaca is basically one opening for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Reproduction, excretion.
The works.
Yeah, the works nature at its most efficient, I guess you could say.
And that's not all. It gets even weirder.
Yeah.
The rooster's, contribution to this whole process.
Oh, yeah.
Can survive inside the hen for how long?
21 days.
21 days? 3 weeks?
That's longer than you think.
It is longer than I would have guessed. Talk about holding on to something.
Right, and the hens, they get to choose, basically.
No kidding.
Yeah, they decide which rooster's contribution actually fertilizes the egg. So,
wow.
Talk about female empowerment, right? It's amazing.
That's incredible. And as if that wasn't enough, we get to the intelligence of chickens.
Right.
Which, most people don't think about chickens being all that bright. But
you wouldn't think it.
The video mentions that they can recognize over 100 different faces.
It's true. From birth.
From birth.
They can recognize over 100 faces, which, honestly, when you think about their social structure, how they interact with each other, their mating rituals, it makes sense.
Yeah.
They need to be able to tell each other apart.
100 faces. That's more than I can do.
Too. I can barely remember,
It really is amazing what we're learning about.
It is.
Animals that we think we know so well.
Yeah, we take them for granted.
We do.
Yeah.
We really do.
It really makes you think about how we got from, these amazing creatures descended from dinosaurs to the modern chicken industry.
Yeah, the video doesn't shy away from it. It's a little
sobering.
It is.
When you think about it.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast.
It is.
We've got these, intelligent creatures, these survivors, they come from this long line of, incredible animals, and we're raising billions of them.
Billions. It's astounding.
Yeah.
The sheer number of chickens alive right now, it's mind-boggling.
The video said 4.2 billion laying hens.
Yeah, and 25 billion broilers.
That's more chickens than people.
Way more.
By a lot.
Several times over. It's incredible. And when you start to think about the impact,
right,
both on the chickens themselves and on the planet.
It's huge.
Yeah, and it all comes back to those ancient bugs, those evolutionary adaptations we were talking about.
Right, those quirks that aren't really quirks.
Exactly. They're not bugs, they're features.
Yeah.
And in the case of industrial farming, they've really capitalized on those features.
So these chickens are basically stuck in this loop.
Kind of. They're hardwired for constant egg laying and nest filling.
Right. It's in their DNA.
And the industry has figured out how to exploit that.
The video said 99% of supermarket eggs are unfertilized.
Yeah, they're never going to be chicks.
It's kind of sad when you think about it.
It is. It's a business.
Right.
And those broilers, those chickens bred for meat.
42 days. That's it.
42 days from hatching to slaughter.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
It is a far cry from those images of chickens, roaming free, pecking for bugs.
Right. Living your best life.
These birds, they spend their entire lives indoors in these controlled environments.
It's efficient.
Oh, incredibly efficient.
But is it?
Right.
That's the question, isn't it?
And just when I thought we were done with the chicken facts, the video hits us with this whole thing about chicken bones as future fossils.
Right. It sounds crazy.
It does.
But when you think about the sheer number of chickens we're talking about,
Billions.
billions and billions of bones have to go somewhere.
Landfills mostly, right?
Mostly. And what happens to landfills over millions of years?
They become part of the earth. They become strata layers of garbage and chicken bones.
So future archaeologists, millions of years from now, they're going to dig this up and be like, what?
They're going to think we worship the chicken.
The chicken.
The rise and fall of the chicken civilization.
It's funny, but it's also kind of terrifying.
It is. It makes you think about the legacy we're leaving behind.
Right. Not just the big things, but the everyday things.
The chicken bones, the plastic, the nuclear waste.
It's all going to be there.
A permanent record of our time on Earth.
Yeah, it's kind of eerie to think about, digging through layers of trash and chicken bones.
It's not the future we imagined, is it?
Not quite. But speaking of the future, the video does end on kind of a hopeful note with those chickens on Kauai Island.
Oh, yeah. The Kauai chickens.
They're like a beacon of hope in all this.
In a way, they are.
So these chickens, right, they're descended from domesticated chickens, but...
Right, they're a mix.
Yeah, a mix of those, and then the wild chickens that were already on the island.
And it's the hurricanes that did it. Back in the 80s and 90s, these hurricanes, they wiped out a lot of the farms on Kauai.
So the chickens basically got a free pass.
Pretty much, they got released into the wild. They started breeding with the wild chickens.
And they thrived.
They did. They adapted. They went back to their roots, so to speak.
Hunting for food.
Exactly.
Avoiding predators.
It's like to relearn it all.
It's like they rediscovered their inner dinosaur.
In a way, yeah.
But that's not all, is it? There's always a twist with these deep dives.
There is a bit of a what if here.
What if?
What if this is the future,
Chickens inheriting the earth.
It's not impossible. I mean, they're smart.
We've established that.
They're adaptable. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They outnumber us.
And they remember faces.
They do.
What if they remember what we did to them?
That's the question, isn't it?
It's a chilling thought. A whole planet ruled by chickens.
A chicken dynasty.
It's enough to make you switch to tofu, I guess.
Maybe.
Well, that's our show for today, folks.
That was quite a ride.
It really was. From T-Rex to the dinner table to maybe taking over the world. Who knew the chicken had such a wild story?
Stranger than fiction.
That's for sure. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the surprising afterlife of chickens.
Until next time.
Keep those deep dives coming.